Hi everyone, welcome to Buckle Up Podcast. I'm Natalia Earle and I'm a certified business and life coach that loves talking to people. I'm fascinated by humans and how our brain works. What is it that makes a decision good or bad, and how does that decision ultimately shape our path and destiny? Everyone loves to talk about success, but what about the flip side? How about adversity? Failure is such a big and often necessary part of life, and it's simply unavoidable. So I invite you to join me on this inspiring, honest, unpolished interview show with breathtakingly real conversations that go deep on setbacks and hardships that are part of the puzzle that ultimately lead to growth, discovery of inner greatness, and what makes us resilient. Grab your helmet and buckle up, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But what a ride it will be. Today we are back for part 2 with Geoff Speyrer, who has served 12 years in the Army as a combat engineer and an infantryman. While deployed to Iraq, he was a lead vehicle gunner on an EOD escort and security team, as well as on route clearance. When returning home from Iraq, Geoff didn't realize or understand what PTSD and TBI was until he was so deep into addiction and selling drugs that he didn't even know how to ask for help, nor did he really want it. For the next 13 years, Geoff would suffer from suicide attempts, incarceration after incarceration, different institutions, and 5.5 years of being a fugitive. It wasn't until the last incarceration that he found his fire for life and decided that he would invest as much energy into rebuilding his life as he did destroying it. Geoff knew he was destined for more than that pit of hell he was living in.
And I can't say thank you enough to anybody that's believed in my journey, believed in me, the story that I have. Like, there's so many people that's been through more than I have. I just share the journey, and I'm an open book. So if somebody asks whatever, I'm always game to share it. And I mean, everything that I've done is not right, but it's all been a learning process. It's been a this whole journey is just a learning process to grow, to get better, to share. I have this huge goal of impacting 1 billion people, impacting 1 billion lives. And it all starts with one person at a time. Each event that I go to, each whatever, I make sure that whenever I go, I bring my heart, right? And I open my heart out. I work my ass off. I will give, like, for my community, I will show up like 100%, and I'm going to give it my all. I don't care. And that's extremely important for me, because like that's one of the messages that I carry, that I talk about on social media, is that if you have problems, if you have something that you're dealing with, if you're struggling, I know what it's like to suffer in silence, and I want you to know that I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, there's so many people that grow, they get big and whatever, and they, pay somebody to, monitor their social media. Well, that's not happening here, because like basically my social media is like a HIPAA policy. Like, the stories that come through there, the people that reach out, the people that share their, talk about suicide, depression, mental health and stuff like that. Like, your story is right here. It's between you and I. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to share that. The only way that gets shared is if we're on a public platform talking about it, and it's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
the only way I'm sharing somebody's journey is if that's what they are trying to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to expose somebody based on, like, I'm just not how I operate.
Yeah.
I was never like that in the drug game, and I'm not like that here. Like, I'm, whatever.
Absolutely. You're your own genius. I always said that God put something special inside all of us, right? We all have our inner genius, and we all have something special to offer this world. And like you said, sometimes we have to go through those adversities to really get connected to our true self, and to show the world that what we can do. And I always say God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And it's this, I call us crazy motherfuckers that do all his work, right? Because we've been through so much that
We're the
he's like, these are,
disciples, man.
yeah,
We're the
exactly. These
disciples.
are the people that are gonna carry it. Yes.
If you think about the disciples, they were all gangsters.
Yes.
They were all thugs. Jesus was thugging back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a,
yes.
Yo, you don't want to mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude had a legit team, straight warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and
I agree. Other veterans are dealing with a similar journey as you. What your advice to them would be?
Oh, never let a situation, someone's opinion, or circumstances dictate the outcome of your future. Like, yes, that is a part of you. Yes, you should carry that. Yes, you should keep it close to your heart, because adversity is your greatest teacher. It's what empowers us. To me, it's what empowers me. It makes me strive for excellence. Looking back at the adversity, looking back at like the life that I came from, I just want to make sure that I never go back to that, but I want to keep that life very close to me. I'm always willing to reach back into the flames to grab another individual. I'm always willing to reach back and grab somebody suffering or struggling or whatever and be like, hey, man, look, the path is not easy. It's not always fun, but it's totally worth it. And you are absolutely worth it. Keep fighting. Left foot, right foot, forward motion. You got this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I believe in. I embody that, like 100%. It's like die first, then quit. And I mean, what I mean, and not ending it, right? But like fighting to so much of a degree that there's no way in hell that anybody's going to see you quit.
Right.
And that's what's so important to me about doing events and doing things in front of people, not just doing them in silence. Like, yes, the work that I do out in front of people is a result of what I do when nobody's looking. Right. I wouldn't be able to do the events that I do without doing things without anybody looking. The work you do in the dark is the work that's going to put you in the light. And I'm not a huge spotlight person or anything like that. Like I'm very introverted. I get really nervous around big crowds and stuff like that. And I'm super awkward, but I might be trying to figure out what I want to tell you for about 5 minutes and I might just be fumbling with my words for a little while, but I tell you what, I'm not afraid to try to have a conversation with somebody. I'm not afraid to have a conversation with anybody. I'm not afraid to open my heart up. And I'm an awkward soul, man. So people just want to connect to people. They want to feel like some kind of connection. And that's why I share so many different parts of my story in so many different ways, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm just have a lot of relatable part. People are like, man, I ain't been through this shit. I'm like, don't compare yourself to me.
Right.
Everybody's been through shit. Everybody's been through something. You have a powerful story. You know what I like? One thing I really love about podcasts is that the reason why I started one was because the first time that I was ever on one, the feeling of pride that it gave me, and whenever I get on somebody else's podcast and then talk about myself, I always feel like a little bit of a narcissist because I'm like, I'm talking about myself again, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, but I need to do that for other people. It's not about you, right? Yes. So I know that. I'm not out here just like, because on my podcast, I don't just talk about myself. I talk about my feelings to help people, right? I wish that people would have a better relationship with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Adversity, recognizing that an easy life is not a full life.
So true.
If that makes sense.
100%. You nailed it. It's so true. It's yeah.
I mean, so whenever it's like, it's so easy to go through your day and like wake up and not do things to like set yourself up for success. Like I like to get up and the first part of your day is very important because you're in a certain state of like the things that you take in set the pace for the rest of your day. So what do you do? The first things that you do in the day are very, very important to how the rest of your day is going to play out. Right.
Yes.
Having that routine of getting that coffee in, making sure, like, I like to take in something inspirational every morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I often listen to the same motivational video, like whether it's Jocko Good, motivational video where he talks about anything that takes place. You need to basically like, got tapped out. Good. You freaking, didn't get promoted. Good. More time to get better. But you didn't get the new high speed gear you wanted. Good. More time to train with the stuff that you're already comfortable with. It's like being able to recognize those things. And like, that's one of the videos that sets me up for success every day. It's like, okay, that no matter what, you can set yourself up for wins by creating staples in your day. And some of the staples that I have is like tracking my nutrition, drinking a gallon of water, making sure that I get movement in. Oh man. Reading a book, reading a few pages of a book, and then meditation or visualization, I guess you could say.
Right.
And those kind of move around a little bit. One of the things that are making the bed. So that's always, that's one that's in there as well as making the bed.
It's so crazy. I even do that in the hotels. It's just like I have that crazy habit that I always straighten the bed even in the hotels because it drives me crazy.
Well, think about this. If you walk into a hotel room and the bed's not made,
Yeah.
would you get in it? Even if the sheets are clean, if they just do it, you'd be like, hey, you're going to make the bed. Why do you feel so entitled to have a bed made and you don't make it at your house?
Right.
Boom, you wake up, you make your bed. That's the first win of the day. That is the first win of the day. Right.
100%. I even do that like before I go to the bathroom.